Hi, my name is Jackie, and I'm going to be reading Catching Fire. If you haven't seen the videos where I read The Hunger Games, the book that comes before Catching Fire, you shouldn't click here because I never made those videos, and I probably never will. So we begin. Part 1. The Spark. I clasp the flask between my hands, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached into the frozen air. My muscles are clenched tight against the cold. If a pack of wild dogs were to appear at this moment, the odds of scaling a tree before they attacked are not in my favor. I should get up, move around, and work the stiffness from my limbs, but instead I sit, as motionless as the rock beneath me, while the dawn begins to lighten the woods. I can't fight the sun. I can only watch helplessly as it drags me into a day that I've been dreading for months. By noon, they will all be at my new house in Victor's village. The reporters, the camera crews, even Effie Trinket, my old escort, will have made their way to District 12 from the capital. I wonder if Effie will still be wearing that silly pink wig, or if she'll be sporting some other unnatural color, especially for the victory tour. There will be others waiting too, a staff to cater to my every need on the long train trip, a prep team to beautify me for public appearances, my stylist and friend Cinna, who designed the gorgeous outfits that first made the audience take notice of me in the Hunger Games. If it were up to me, I would try and forget the Hunger Games entirely. Never speak of them. Pretend they were nothing but a bad dream. But the victory tour makes that impossible. Strategically placed almost midway between the annual games, it is the capital's way of keeping the horror fresh and immediate. Not only are we in the districts forced to remember the iron grip of the capital's power each year, we are forced to celebrate it. And this year, I am one of the stars in the shadow. I am one of the stars of the show. I will have to travel from district to district, to stand before the cheering crowds who secretly loathe me, to look down onto the faces of the families of the children I have killed. ... The sun persists in rising, as we all know it does every day. Persists in rising. So I make myself stand. All my joints complain, and my left leg has been asleep for so long that it takes several minutes of pacing to bring the feeling back into it. I've been in the woods 3 hours, but as I've made no real attempt at hunting, I have nothing to show for it. It doesn't matter for my mother and my little sister, Prem, anymore. They can afford to buy butcher meat in town, although none of us likes it any better than the fresh game. But my best friend, Gail Hawthorne, and his family will be depending on today's haul. I can't let them down. I start the hour-and-a-half trek it will take to cover our snare line. Back when we were in school, we had time in the afternoons to check the line and hunt together and still get back to trade in town. But now Gail has gone to work in the coal mines, and I have nothing to do all day. I've taken over the job. By the time Gail will have clocked in at the mines, taken the stomach-churning elevator ride down into the depths of the earth. What is this mark right here? I know what it's like down there. Every year in school, as part of our training, my class had to tour the mines. When I was little, it was just unpleasant. The claustrophobic tunnels, foul air, suffocating darkness on all sides. There's a period after that. That's an incomplete sentence. And then the next sentence starts with but, with a capital B. I know it's not just me, because I went to school. No, you can't do that. It's against the rules of literature. But seriously, it's not even just that it's an incomplete sentence. I would be totally okay with that, because there have been many times where I wanted to just, list some shit in a story in a, funny way, whatever, because I was writing in first person, and you can change the rules up a bit in first person because it's like dialogue, except not. But it's stupid. You started the next sentence with but. You could have easily made that period a comma and that but a lowercase word, and it would have been fine. It wouldn't have been a run-on sentence. It would have been complete. And I wouldn't have been standing here for a minute talking about it. Punch the pig unicorn. Punch it. Look at this thing. Look at it. It's a unicorn. But it's a pig. I mean, look, okay. Pig. Unicorn. But after my father and several other miners were killed in an explosion, I could barely force myself onto the elevator. The annual trip became an enormous source of anxiety. Twice, I made myself so sick in anticipation of it that my mother kept me home because she thought I had contracted the flu. Wow, normally people just play sick when they don't want to go do something at school. You actually made yourself sick. A+, Katniss. I think of Gale, who is only really alive in the woods with its fresh air and sunlight and clean, flowering water. Flowering water. I don't know how he stands it. Well, yes, I do. He stands it because it's the way to feed his mother and 2 younger brothers and sister. And here I am with buckets of money, far more than enough to feed both our families now, and he won't take a single coin. Just take the damn money, Gale! If you die, your family's not going to have you to take care of them. Just take the damn money. Jesus. It's even hard for him to let me bring in meat, although he'd surely have kept my mother and Prim supplied if I'd been killed in the games. I tell him he's doing me a favor, that it drives me nuts to sit around all day. Even so, I never drop off the game while he's at home, which is easy since he works 12 hours a day. The only time I really get to see Gale now is on Sundays, when we meet up in the woods and hunt together. I thought you're avoiding him. You just clearly stated that you're avoiding him. And then you complain about only getting to see him on Sundays. Katniss, I don't understand you. You would think after all you've been through, you would stop being complainy. On Sundays, when we meet up in the woods to hunt together, it's still the best day of the week, but it's not like it used to be before, when we would tell each other everything. The games have spoiled even that. I keep hoping that as time passes, we'll regain the ease between us, but part of me knows it's futile. There's no going back. One piece of advice. If you look at a situation as unfixable, you stop looking for solutions. You can't fix a situation you're not trying to fix. I get a good haul from the traps. 8 rabbits, 2 squirrels. Okay, I know that some people eat squirrel. Let me just say this to you one time and I shall never say it again. Those poor squirrels. I mean, it's not like they have a lot of meat on them anyways. Just leave them alone. Jesus. Man. They're so cute and fluffy and they throw things at my sister and it's funny. Oh, I love squirrels. And a beaver that swam into a wire contraption Gale designed himself. Chapter 1, Part 2, next time. I might link it there. I might not. We'll see. I would say no offense, but I do mean offense. Seriously, all these rules you break, they attack my heart. And it aches. I mean, seriously, it hurts right now. I'm not being metaphorical. It's probably gas. That sounds gross. Okay, I hate these things. They're so obnoxious. Pretty, but obnoxious.